All right, we are live for a midday RTD Q&A, and I'm excited to have a returning guest, Mr. Jose Martinez, fellow community member as well as just a prepper, educator, engineer as well down in Venezuela, and he's joining us to give us an update on what's happening in this country. And it's been a while, but Jose, how you doing, my friend?
Thanks for your invitation, Mike. We have been relatively fine. We are doing good. I
Mhm.
can't complain.
Yeah,
Well, our decision of having come back, it was not a mistake exactly. Okay. Um, there are so many things to fix, yet to fix,
Mhm.
but generally speaking, well, we have been worst, so we're good. We're fine. We're doing
You're
good.
good.
Thanks for your invitation.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. And so, we were talking last week about just the conditions in Venezuela and how things appear to be improving. When you look at some of the numbers, just from mere inflation numbers going down, and you were talking about how overall sentiment within the country seems to be turning more positive. And I'm like, wow, like I haven't heard about that. Let's just touch on that. And so, before we dive in any further, for those that are plugging in, just for I think the last time we spoke was last year, and just to get people caught up to date on what's happening, you were in Peru at that time. You and your son were living there because you left the country. You left Venezuela because of conditions were not too good, and you were there for some time, and then you decided to go back. And so now you're home, and things are as you said looking better. And also for those that are a part of the community, you are a prolific writer, so you have a Patreon to where you go out there. It's called fact-based prepping, where you educate people on how to prepare and how to you take your real world experiences and you try to help other people as far as your life experiences. So definitely, I'm a subscriber of yours, and I appreciate you for your writing and things of that nature, because just another way of making sense of all this craziness. But let's just jump off right away, because one of the things you mentioned was that the heavy Russian influence, or I'm assuming from the partnerships, have, I guess, turned some things around. So if you don't mind, let's just start off with that. And as far as Russia's influence on Venezuela, give us the rundown as what you're experiencing.
All right. Look, it's not like we are watching Russians walking and touring all over the place around here. You see,
Right.
um, our experience with Russian influence has been mostly, Venezuela has been the military has been buying weaponry. You see,
Hmm.
that was the first, let's say, I would like to say the most important aspect on the first stage of the Yugos era. Okay,
Yeah.
a, a first, they sit on the table and start having lunch. Okay, that was the first entries, and the first contact was about getting Russian weaponry. I mean, okay, a country needs weapons. Okay, initially the idea was to combat the enemies of the state and so on. Okay, it's not like we have a lot of Russian entrepreneurs, or I mean, we don't have Russian cars yet roaming our streets. Okay, the influence, it seems to have been mm, subject to many rumors. Just as an example, recently in Margarita Island, there was an attempt to bring like 100 and something tourists, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
to Margarita Island. It's a touring destination. It's a wonderful island.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I would love many of our audience could visit this
Right.
part of my country. It's beautiful. And they
Yeah.
brought along some tourists. some tourism from Russia. Okay, well, they seem to have enjoyed the place. It's a tropical island with wonderful beaches, and some has some other advantage that other island of the Caribbean doesn't. Ah, that's my island. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Right.
And
So it's right
during
above, yeah, right above Venezuela. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
all right, it's okay. And well, the sort of getting closer with Russian people.
Hmm.
I mean, it's something that I believe is positive because everyone needs to understand each other. You see,
Right. Right. Right.
and yeah, and despite all the agreements and the treaties the governments sign
Mhm.
between them,
Yeah.
it's all about the people. It's all about we, the people.
Right.
Okay, you see?
Right. Very true. Now, one of the things you
Okay.
mentioned. So one of the
Hmm.
things you mentioned was, like, the agreements you have with Russia, whatever, and how, I guess, the Russians' interest in oil and things of that nature, they've invested and probably providing some dollars that is helping doing some things on the back end. How
Okay.
has Russia's investment in the country, I guess, help boost and stabilize some things if that is the case?
Okay. I have to acknowledge because, but albeit I have my particular opinions on that.
Right.
Because let me balance this equation. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, the our oil industry was has been sorry, a little bit of mosquitoes around here. um, our oil industry was somehow diminishing in production. Okay,
Hmm.
there are a complete arrangement of variables for that to happen. The migration of professionals, just like me,
Hmm.
uh, the hyperinflation that made our salaries go to the underground. Okay,
Hmm.
uh, the general situation of the country made that some things so very appealing for our an oil industry worker, like our medical insurance is just was just useless in the 2018 2020.
Hmm.
Okay, I have some friends inside. They have told many things have are better now. Okay,
Hmm.
not exactly fixed, but are better now. But I know, or I like to think that uh, some influence was key for our oil industry stop producing what it was producing. All
Yeah.
right, we went from almost 3 million barrels per day. That's a lot of money. That was one third of what you people in the US consume in your tanks.
Yeah.
You see,
Really.
almost one third. Yeah. Now we are producing like maybe 400,000 barrels.
Hmm.
Our own consumption is like three 300,000 barrels per day. So we
Wow.
are barely producing over what we ourselves consume.
Hmm.
Okay, that's why we need. Sorry, that's why we need to bring oil from other countries.
Right.
Incredible.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Guess who covered our production quota in the OPEC?
My guess would be, so it's
Or
Saudi Arabia,
no, Russia.
Russia. Really?
the production we were not putting into the US market was covered by Russia. I mean, that was a couple of years ago, 2017, 16, something.
Hmm.
Like, don't have the exact date, but I do know because I watched the photograph of Mr. Trump and Putin shaking hands
Hmm.
and saying they were signing an agreement. They were going to sell the oil we were not producing anymore.
Hmm.
That was like a kick in the teeth, you know.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that was like a well, man. Oh. And then you notice that everything what happened with the hyperinflation, and then you
Hmm.
see the news. The news are all over the internet. Russia
Yeah.
injected $150 million in cash.
Hmm.
All right,
Hmm.
that was like 2019 or 2000. It was pre-pandemic,
Yeah.
the pre-pandemic months.
Yeah.
All right, and my own father started to getting his salary. I mean, my dad is 78 years old and still working,
Hmm.
and he started receiving his salary in USD cash.
And
I
you
mean,
was so
yeah,
so during that time, because of that injection of cash, it looks like from Russia, I guess in an investment form, your father was
yes,
receiving a salary in dollars, which I'm sure he was
because
beyond happy.
yes, because the collapse was imminent
Uh huh.
and it was going to be nasty. You see, if the country's economy was continue sinking, it was going to be a real disaster.
Hmm.
And I am sure the Russians didn't want to get too involved with that.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Now, so as of now, as a result of I guess the help, the assistance rather,
Uh
to
huh.
help stabilize things. Things are improving to where you mentioned that some people were saying things are getting better now. So as of now, you have a dual payment system. You were saying to
Yeah.
where it's I guess it's bolivars as well as dollars and probably whatever else people are using. How does that work? How does that transact? Day to day, in your opinion?
Well, it seems to have been working quite good.
Yeah.
I have been almost 1 year around here,
Hmm.
and well, we have been able to to get some groceries, and pay for the kids' school. And public school are not exactly in their best moment. Okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
but I can't go right now with my US debit card,
Hmm.
get some groceries in a Chinese owned market.
Hmm.
You see, and it's
You said
fine.
you can with your U.S.
I
dollar
can, I
debit
can
card.
do it. I
Yeah.
can perfectly do it. I am willing. I am able to do it.
So is it
You
is
see?
it a is it a is it a it says the U.S. debit card is a Mastercard Visa like Mastercard Visa logo on it that
Yeah,
you're
it's a Mastercard. Mastercard. Yeah,
Mastercard?
and I can swipe and get my groceries. No problem. You
Interesting.
see?
So
Yeah.
okay, so it's interesting how Mastercard and Visa are allowed to be utilized as a company, even though they're global. But then again, like me as a U.S. citizen coming there with my Mastercard or Visa, I don't think it would work, because of the sanctions type of thing. So that's interesting how they'll take advantage of as long as they can get their fees, they'll allow Venezuelans to use it. But then Americans coming there, we wouldn't be able to use it. Just like in Cuba, I couldn't use my Mastercard in Cuba, but I had to use my Europe card instead.
Okay. I don't know exactly what's the reaching of these sanctions. I
Yeah.
mean, uh, just I believe the sanctions are more for larger companies than for the small
Individuals.
people. You see,
Right.
and I just tried a couple of times. I got like $20 in that account, so I decided, oh, I'm going to get some groceries there.
Hmm.
Okay, and but I usually use national currency.
Hmm.
Okay, interesting because the national currency uh, has not seen so devaluated. All
Hmm.
right,
Yeah.
just for an idea, when we arrived, the rate, the exchange rate was like four and something
Mhm.
bolivares. All
So
right.
so just to put it in context, you guys have gone through 3 or 4 different iterations of currency since I've been watching. So as of now, it was the Bolivar, Bolivar Forte, Bolivar Sereno. And
Soberano, ajá.
so what are you guys on now, currency wise?
Soberano, sí.
Soberano. Okay, so you're still on the
Yeah.
Soberano. Okay.
All
So you
right.
said it was a little bit more stable when you guys came back into the country.
Yeah. 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 Once we arrived, I was like, I was surprised. All right. Pleasantly surprised. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was I could open my bank account.
Mhm.
You can go now and buy whatever the amount of dollars you want.
Mm.
Okay.
You can go buy dollars now, really. So you can take your
Yeah, you
Bolivars
can.
and go.
Yeah,
So
you can go one of these whatever bank and get. Yeah, I want $20 or I want $200 or 400 whatever. Okay.
really, so cool. That's different because I remember a year ago or 2 years ago, I was talking to somebody. It is like dollars are like scarce, like you couldn't find none. So it's interesting. So you guys, your economy has been dollarized. That's what it seems like, or it's available.
It's like de facto dollarization. I mean,
De
it's
facto
not
dollarization.
like they said, "All right, we were wrong, and now we are going. We sorry, we are going to use the imperial currency." And it's not like that. They're
Right.
not going to say like, "All right," but they might be red commies, but they love dollars.
Right. A de
That's
facto dollar system. Interesting. So, real quick, as you were talking, because I use dollar today as a
all
way
right.
to keep prices, and so when you
Mhm.
mentioned you're surprised, and as of now, the Bolivar Sereno is
Uh-huh.
565
Uh-huh.
for one single dollar,
Uh-huh.
and
That's
so
correct.
when you go to the stores and you look on the shelves, you're seeing sticker prices of like single digit rather than all those zeros from years past type of thing. So people have smaller denominations of cash in their hand. Is what I'm saying.
All right. The prices are dollars, mostly dollars,
Oh, okay.
and they have forced them to calculate to the official rate. All right. If you're
Mm,
going to pay in soberanos, they immediately make the calculations. Okay, price for today. Interestingly, these prices are the last few weeks have been slowly rising up.
mm,
They have been stable
yeah.
for quite some time. I'm not scared at all
Mhm. Yeah.
because I charge
In
I
dollars.
receive dollars.
Yeah.
So somehow I'm going to my work is not getting devaluated,
Mhm.
and I have the strong suspicion. sus- uh, I am suspicious because these last few weeks the increase in these dollar prices
Yeah.
seems to be more linked to the dollar losing value,
Mm,
a little bit of value. Huh?
mm.
What do you
Okay.
think?
Oh, okay. So that's different. So you're saying that the slow increase in the Venezuelan prices on sticker prices, you're equating it to the devaluation of the dollar. So because the dollar itself, because of our sticker price here, our inflation numbers here have spiked significantly. So assuming
Mm,
you're starting to feel the side effects of an inflated purchasing power or lack thereof from our dollar, so it's starting to impact you guys there. So and
exactly.
that goes to like one of the points of like rethinking the dollar is that the dollar has been the primary tool of measurement, but as
Mhm.
it's becoming more of a weapon, it's going to be a problem for everybody, not just U.S. citizens. And that's a concern of mine because a lot of Venezuelans as well as Argentinians and people in distressed countries, they hold large amounts of dollars. And how much longer before people realize that the dollar is better than the Bolivar, but then a dollar is on its way out. Let me go ahead and get rid of these things because it's going to be a problem for everybody. That's something I'm sure people at some point will start realizing, that the dollar is no much different than the Bolivar at the end of the day.
Well, it's hard to make such comparisons, no? But
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, I know that an economist. I don't have
Yeah, me
any
either.
any
That's just my opinion.
any sort of qualification.
Yeah.
No, you see, but I feel, because what can what has changed in 1 year, okay,
Mhm.
inside the country. So we arrived here.
Mhm.
The dollar was under 5 bolivares, under 5 soberanos. Now it's almost 6. Between
Right.
yesterday and today, it went up 30 cents.
Right.
That I have been for a year. That wasn't happening. Okay,
Right.
but
Man, that's yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Since February, with all the Russian Ukrainian invasion, and the effects of the pandemics,
Mhm.
all of this is now like a backslash.
Mm. Yeah.
Backslash, you say?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. 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 Interesting. So what you're so basically when you first got there a year ago,
Uh huh.
the Bolivar to dollar exchange rate was $4, four Bolivars for a dollar. As of now, it's
Foreign
5.55,
change. Uh huh.
four and change. So now it's almost 6. So basically, you're saying the Bolivar has
Yeah.
strengthened against the dollar in your country within the last year, to where that's why you've had that sense of like everything is getting better in a sense, or getting better because your currency has strengthened against the dollar. In a small way. Can you hear me?
I lost a few words. My connection
Okay, no
is
problem.
can you summarize a little bit, please?
No problem. What I was saying was, based upon a year ago when you
Uh-huh.
returned, it
Okay.
was 4 and some change.
Uh huh.
Now it's almost
Uh huh.
6 Bolivars to 1, showing that the
Mm-hmm.
Bolivar has strengthened against the dollar in a small sense, to where that is a part of the reason why you said it's been relatively calm, because our inflation has
No.
ramped up, giving you guys a little bit of strength
Uh-huh.
in a sense.
N- no. I feel people is. I mean, this rate, this currency rate, it's something the central bank
Right,
fixed. Is it?
right. So it's
I
it's,
mean,
it's not so it's fake. It's a fake rate.
I don't know. I don't know. They have their formula. So I I mean, I do can say our GDP is
Mhm.
not even close to what once was,
Yeah.
but I feel like we have a golden opportunity
Mm.
to sincerate our GDP, and uh, to make it relay on a more stable basis, on a more stable productive environment. You
Yeah.
see?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. So as you're talking, I love pulling up graphs, and so just on a side note, when it comes to, I typed in
All right.
Venezuela GDP from
Ah.
1960
Mm.
to 2022, and this is the just off the charts. You're like, to where you guys were, let me see here. So it was mild and calm 70s, 80s, 90s, and then around 2000 ish, 99, 98, 99, it started to take off, and then from 2003 onward, GDP, it priced in dollars has gone through the roof, and per capita is 16,000. So it's just conditions have basically deteriorated in a sense. So yeah, growth rate. Let me see. So these are just some stats here that I use to compare things. But anyway, one thing I wanted to
All right.
mention real quick was, you mentioned the inflation. And so I looked at over the last 5 years, and this is what has come up on TradingView for whatever it's worth. So this is the last 5 years where in 99, 2000, it was off the chart inflation numbers. And then as of lately, it's calmed down to where over the last year, it's saying your inflation numbers have went from 284% to 222. So even though that's extremely high, but then again, that shows progress, similar to what you've been talking about with things, seeming to be a little bit better when you returned over the last year. So that is,
Yes.
to me, that's improvement, for what it's worth.
Yeah, yeah. What I just a trend in the official numbers that I haven't they have kept is the some sort of opacity. You see?
Capacity. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the numbers don't match here and there. I mean, we know numbers,
Right, right.
and some things don't match here and there, and
Yeah,
some you see it's kind of opaque, but
yeah.
you just have to keep moving, man. I mean, all right, I don't know how they are keeping current the USD exchange rate, but they are working on keeping it as low as possible. You
Right,
see?
right. And it helps at the fact that they're keeping it semi-stable, and you're able to go get some. Whereas in times
Yeah,
past, they were not able to get, you're not able to get access to dollars, and so people, I'm assuming at that time. So when you look at how's the quote unquote black market, like where people use dollars and exchange dollars, I'm assuming the black market rate has come down significantly
yeah,
if the government allows you to go out and actually purchase dollars. So that kind of hinders, the other activity as well, I'm assuming.
absolutely, absolutely. Look, one of the things that made me really to live, to want to live here was like I watching the news, guys getting in trouble with the law
Mm-hmm.
because just selling $50 in the social media.
Mm.
That was like, well, this can't be happening here. I'm not going to live in a place where you can't, they search your pockets and find you $200 and you're going to prison. So I mean, I don't want to live in a place like that. You
Right,
see?
right. So like they were,
Now,
okay. So if you had cash on you, if you had dollars on you, you were like literally like treated like a criminal because of the scarcity of dollars.
yes,
Wow.
it happened here. Some a few back in 2016, 2017, it happened.
Mhm.
Okay, the using the dollar was forbidden. So I don't know if it was propaganda or I don't know exactly what was, but I was like, well, there's no reason to to live in a place where we could be in danger just for that. Okay,
Yeah.
I had a good job back then. Just with Bolivares, we can have a decent life.
Mhm.
But well, that was one of the factors. Okay, back then there are some news around there all over the internet as well. So if people
Yeah.
wants to research, they can do it. Right?
Yeah.
But well, the official approach changed it significantly.
Mhm.
That doesn't happen now. All right,
Mhm.
that's not happening now. But
Yeah.
there is yes, the whole thing with the cash injections. The rumors are the Russian made it.
Mhm.
They could have been very well the Mexican friends.
Yeah.
Right, I don't know exactly who injected that word of
No, no,
cash.
no, no telling where it came from. So let's pivot a little bit. I'm curious to get your thoughts because you mentioned beforehand, like you're the president Maduro, and on top of that, I saw Juan Guaido out there,
Yeah,
and it's not been good. Like I don't think the people really like are his friend at all because they've been treating him bad according to some videos circulating on the internet. But recently Maduro has been doing a like a world tour, and he's shaking hands with a lot of people, and he's setting up deals. And so I guess he was just in Iran last week and signed a 20-year agreement, and then he was in Turkey, the week before, shaking hands, signing deals. And so, for whatever it's worth, how does that make you feel? You're present out there making deals for the people.
It makes my tongue hurt because I'm biting it.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, these sort of agreements with anti-Western alliance. This is how this was some sort of this was to be expected because
Yeah.
in the Yugos era there was some similar friendly approachings with Ahmadinejad. You remember
Yeah. Yep.
Ahmadinejad? Huh?
Yep. Yep.
And this is old. This is just like uh, re-stretching some old bonds. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there was a whole agreements to with the car factories. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
assembled a few cars, no, old European technology,
Mm-hmm.
patents like the Iranian boats, and well, that seemed to work like the 10% of what was planned. You see,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will leave open to anyone's interpretation
Right. Right. I
what
understand.
what the real nature of these agreements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Right.
because it's information that we average citizens don't have available.
Right,
Okay.
right. So there's more to those deals than just them shaking hands for agreement's sake, And I can say it like from a political standpoint, you got the same school of thought all agreeing on how they're gonna partner together, and they're socialists in
Yeah.
nature, communists in nature. So they're just basically strengthening their power grab over their own people together. So it's not going to be in the best interest of the people. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and let's as an example my own
Uh-huh.
personal thoughts. All
Hmm.
right, and I'm not going to bite my tongue in this.
Hmm.
Lucky for me. Okay, there are so many countries with so many to offer. We could be uh, stretching bonds. Just as an example, South Korea,
Hmm.
New Zealand, and Netherlands, tiny small countries with Singapore. Right? Singapore
Hmm.
is pretty far away, so
Hmm.
to start with. But just with signing agreements with these four countries, they have technology. All right.
Hmm.
We have an unexploited source of energy.
Hmm.
It's the geothermal energy, right?
Hmm.
It's not all over the country, but in some specific parts of the country.
Hmm.
I believe I'm not mistaken on this. There is geothermal energy to be employed, to be used. So
To be
we
used. Yeah.
will in the future,
Right.
all right. Venezuela in 200 years still will have oil and have hydroelectric power enough for our needs, and we
Hmm.
have geothermal energy. You see,
Mm. Yeah. Wow.
so
So yeah, that's something I didn't hear about, like geothermal and hydroelectric. Like the fact you guys have a lot of wealth in your land right there, man.
yes, and these in these resources are renewable energies. You
Hmm.
see,
Hmm.
and that's an attractive point, a very attractive position.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
For other countries to want to invest or keep presence. Okay,
Right.
and we have, I see, I say, I feel that many Venezuelans lost their American identity. You see,
Yeah.
because we're Americans.
You're all Americans, all right? So like this whole little stretch of continent, North America, South America, we're all Americans, and that's something I
Yeah.
learned living down in South America. Like I used to say, I live in America. Where you from? I live in America. And somebody said, "You are in America." I'm like, "No, I'm living in North America. I'm the U.S." No, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm American too." I'm like,
You're,
"You're right. You are American."
yes, and our cultural differences,
Hmm.
they have been widely and very wisely exploited
Hmm.
by foreign powers.
Right.
You see,
Right.
because I hear sometimes those bleeding heart
Hmm.
uh, liberals, the
Hmm.
equivalent. I
Right.
don't. I'm biting my tongue here. Okay,
Right. Understandable. Understandable.
okay. And they say, no, the Americans, imperialism of the Americans. All right, you are right. Are you Asian? Are you Middle Eastern? Where
Hmm.
you were born? I was born in Caracas. Ah, okay. Did you know that Caracas is in South America? And they, well, it's quite funny to
Yeah.
say that, okay? But um, signing agreements and those sort of things
Hmm.
with countries that are so culturally different to us,
Hmm.
yes, is not exactly in our best interest like Americans. That's my
Right.
point. You
Right.
see?
Right. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Um.
And even the Netherlands, we have much close ties and bonds with the Netherlands
Hmm.
because we have a Netherland, a former Netherland colony. I take a windsurf in the North Peninsula
Hmm.
of Falcon in Venezuela. I take my windsurf and surf around, and I am in the Netherlands in Aruba. You see?
Really. Really.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite close. Like
Right.
50 sea miles, 50 miles, 40 miles. We're really close. I have been to Aruba. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
enjoy it quite a lot because
So
I'm my grandpa was the Dutchman, so
okay.
we have been always like interested in Netherlands and the
Yeah.
Dutch culture and so.
So it's not too far away from you. So let's get to some questions. So I think you did a good job of like giving us the nuts and bolts of how things have improved and there's dollars available for people to use. And
Yeah.
you said that the dollar is a de facto standard that people are able to use now, and the Bolivar, in a sense, has somewhat strengthened against the dollar in the midst of like extremely high inflationary numbers that you guys have. So let's get to some questions from the viewers. This is the
All
Q&A
right, come
part.
on.
So let's see what questions we got out there. So feel free to ask some questions in relation to our similarities, differences, and things we can all learn from. And let's see what we can get out here for you. So if you look to the right of your screen, you can probably see some questions as well. So highlight at rethinking the dollar, then your question so it'll stand out. And so Dude Boy says, does Jose go to Colombia for groceries?
All right. Hey, dude boy. No, my amigo. Colombia is pretty far away, or from where we are. We
Mhm,
are in the like 800 kilometers or 700 or so. We don't
mhm,
need to go to Colombia, thanks God.
mhm,
The scarcity is somehow finished, I would say. I mean, I just I just went to the supermarket
mhm.
today and got two toothpaste, all right? Two tubes
Yeah,
of toothpaste,
yeah.
like almost 6 bolivares, like almost $1.
Right. So why,
both tubes. So
that's cheap.
that's good because that's in the international price and it's in bolivares.
So
You see?
that's man. So you're so you so this, the mainstream news years ago would say that shelves are empty. People don't have no food. They da 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 da. But you're saying that
Yes,
some
because that
places,
was happening.
right? But now you got some stuff on your shelves, and your Bolivars can buy you some things in a sense.
Yeah, yeah. So then things, the scarcity is quite. I wouldn't say it's almost finished because
Mhm.
there is always some medication, some medicines that is hard to find, and well, I'm not going to get into those details, no?
Right, right.
But most of the things, I mean, I this is a cattle and dairy productive
Hmm.
area,
Yeah.
and I was pleasantly surprised because we have a lot of white cheese, non-pasteurized white
Hmm.
cheese made the way the Spaniards
Hmm.
made it like 400 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
You got
All
real
right, and
cheese.
yeah, it's a
Real
big
cheese. We got the
block.
fake stuff over here. You got the real stuff here is we consider organic, and it probably costs more than people can be willing to pay for it. Where the real cheese there, I'm sure tastes a lot better. Anyway,
Yeah, it's quite tasty,
yeah.
and it was with we have two seasons here,
Mhm,
rainy season and dry season. In the
mhm,
rainy season, of course, the grass starts growing up,
mhm,
and the cattle starts producing much more milk.
mhm.
You see,
Yeah.
and there is an overabundance of cheese.
Mhm.
The
It's
cheese price went down over 55%, from
really
26 bolivares down to 11 bolivares. So
so that's a hell of an improvement. So it's just
I
the
was like,
Bolivar is the
yeah.
Bolivar is strengthening. Basically, is what it boils down to. Here's another question. Here it says, "Has Venezuela been able to retrieve the gold from UK?" Are you
Ah,
familiar with that?
Beverly, okay. You seem to know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
All right. I will put it this way: that gold is not illegally retained. Okay,
Hmm.
that gold belongs to the Venezuelan people.
Right.
Okay, the official, uh, how do you say, the public servants
Hmm.
in charge of this gold uh, were sanctioned. That
Mm.
was the reason of that gold being kept, so they
Then
can't, so it doesn't disappear in the black hole of the financial infrastructure they have in countries like Andorra
mhm,
and
mhm.
Panama. If you, all right, sorry, I lost
Mhm.
my image for a few seconds.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, all right. And I am sure, I
Hmm.
am sure that once a government with the trust of we the people
Hmm.
is reinstated, this gold will be again as part of our resource. All right,
Right. Right.
you have to see everything what happens with the equivalent of our Supreme Court. All right,
Hmm.
you have to see, you have to analyze as well
Hmm.
everything what has been going on
Hmm.
with that situation. I am again biting my tongue. I will have to get some meds after the after this. But but there are no guarantees at this moment
Mhm.
that gold to be incorporated and be safe. I am sorry, that's the truth.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
this gold is being kept safe. That's what
Mhm.
the impression I. That was the that's the reality. Okay, and
Yeah.
just like any average citizen is going to tell you. All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we got one here says so this is a from LBP. He says, "How much is a six pack of cerveza there?"
All right, that is a great question, man. I hope you buy me. You have the kindness of send me so I can have a six pack this weekend. Okay,
Definitely.
the six
I'm gonna
pack
plug
is
you up. Go
a
ahead.
very is a six pack is 2.5 a bottle, 2.5 bolivares. So it's a couple of beers will be $1. Okay, $3
Mhm.
and a little change. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. What else we got here? Let me see. Miles, appreciate you, man. It says the best small business to have, black market or not. What survived and thrived? What is impacting the business besides prices? Man, that's a lot of good. That's a
All
good, great
right,
question.
great questions.
Best small business to have, black market
Thanks,
or not.
Miles. All right, let's break this down. Okay, please leave the
Yep, I'll put it up there.
all right, thanks. Okay, part one, best small business to have is the one first one. This is obvious. You have to know what you're doing, right, in
Mhm.
your business. You have to be an expert. All right. Sorry
Mhm.
for the background noises. Here, this is a
It's all
household,
good.
and my family is all over around. Uh, we Latinos speak aloud. All right. Business small business to have the ones you know. Okay. The one with the lower one that's not expensive to maintain.
Overhead. Yep.
Okay, one
Low
where
cost.
you don't have to rely on external sources.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, like you have an underwear shop and you have to get your underwear, your merchandise from China, and suddenly there is something happening in the custom. Okay, someone check the shipping reports and say, oh, where this guy bought $3,000 of underwear, then the second shipping bought $5,000, then 10,000. Now he's buying $20,000.
Mhm.
You see, that sort of things. Even it's good for your business in a country where free market is good, is common. This is not
Mhm.
going to call any undesirable attention.
Right. Right. Because I mean,
Okay.
you gonna be a target if they see your business doing well. You're
All
making more
right.
money. You're spending more money. They gonna want to cut. They gonna want to cut of that.
Ah. All right. I don't know who is going to make to be targeting, but I'm sure someone will. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't rely the one of the best most business to have is one that don't rely on external sources too
Mhm.
far away. Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. One where your merchandise, of course, uh, if it is perishable,
Mhm.
perishable,
Yeah.
right?
Perishable. Right. Right.
Perishable, well, it usually will be expensive to
Mhm.
maintain. All right.
Right.
Black market, it's black market nowadays. It seems like, I mean, something like calling something black market is
Mhm.
not exactly appropriate because something that was black market yesterday maybe is not black market today.
Correct. Like
They
so.
issue a law and so yeah.
Yeah, a good example
Okay.
would be, perishable items, things that are found in the grocery store. If you got a
Yeah.
friend who did the first shipment, you decide to get a little extra, then you take it to the back door and start selling it. That's black market. So
All right.
again,
Yeah.
it's all subject to what's needed and the scarcity of it. So anything that's scarce, getting more of it now gives you the ability to charge whatever you like. So
Yeah.
black market is basically whatever is needed out there. Like whatever's needed, somebody got a price for it or give you something for
Yeah.
it. So yeah,
That is correct. All
yeah.
right. What survived and thrived? All
Mhm.
right. Uh, people with some sort of wealthy, all right,
Mhm.
that had some capital invested in some way. I wrote an article in theorganicpepper.com. You can check it in
Mhm.
some moment, all right, where some means of storing value were vehicles, real estate, all
Mhm.
right, even jewels for some people involved. Like was I am
Yeah.
a metallurgist, and I don't like to be involved with jewels because
Jules. Right.
it calls the wrong kind of attention, and you cannot stamp your name on a
Mhm.
jewel, or your papers on a jewel. I mean, it's just for a niche of
Mhm.
people, a niche group,
Yeah.
okay, a niche
Yeah.
market, okay,
Right. Right.
all right, and it gets you targeted sooner or later as well, right?
Right. Good point.
Yeah,
Now
there
let's
is
get.
an uh-huh.
No, so I was gonna go just try to get some more questions in. So also, so
Okay.
I think you summarized that pretty well
Yeah,
because I mean, what it impacts the businesses beside prices like availability and scarcity.
all
So,
right,
uh,
okay, of course, power cuts sometimes will impact, and the internet will impact as well, but generally speaking, people is making good business with the little few resources we have, okay.
yeah.
All right, Lord Hybrid, is it safe for Americans to visit Venezuela? Oh, dear Lord, and I would like to say it is completely safe.
Hmm.
My true, honest, honest answer from the heart is I am not so sure. All right,
Hmm. Hmm.
I have good friends in North America from the USA, and I don't know how safe would be with the current situation. Right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's like when you have some foreign gangs, it's not a secret. They are all over in the south, or they have been increasing presence in the cities.
Hmm.
These guys from the F R F F A R C, the
Mark. Yeah.
ALN, you see,
Yeah.
and there's no way to be safe when
Hmm.
those guys are around, because they have an entire infrastructure to provide intel, and well,
Yeah.
they're not going to kidnap no Mr. Nobody like me.
Hmm.
So, but for them, maybe some other
A foreigner.
foreigner,
A foreigner definitely would
yeah,
be a target.
they
That's
they
that's
they,
that's what
they
anywhere
know
I
they
think.
can get some, yeah, so it's it safe, maybe, yes,
Depending on where you go.
maybe.
I would say outside of Caracas. Like I hear just a lot from what I little videos I see. Caracas be on a swivel. When you're outside of the city in the on the countryside, it's a little less concerning. So
Yeah,
uh,
yes, people
here's
is
another question.
different.
It says, what is his thoughts on Juan Guaido? Does his family, friends, and community think about him, and how much of 1 million in terms of land? How much of 1 million in terms of land can get you in Venezuela?
All right. S400. Well, that's a pretty good question. All right, that's a pretty good question. Uh, Juan Guaido is not exactly giving the results we and many people expected from him. All right.
Right.
I mean, he was in a breach back then in May 2009, 2000,
Hmm.
2015, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
right? He was in a bridge with a machine gun at the side, uh, right?
Mm-hmm.
A belt-fed machine gun, and he was. We were all thought, okay, this is it. Finally, the guy decided to do what he has to do, and let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing happened. Okay. Yes, so that was sort of a disappointment for many of us, all right, because well, we were expecting a lot of stuff, and then we could detect that there is something behind under the rock,
Mm-hmm.
under the rag, and
Yeah.
there's that was not good. Yes, quite not good. All right. Uh, there is a sense of disappointment with Guaido, and he has been losing strength. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How much land would get you $1 million in Venezuela?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I mean actually
My
could you actually buy it and hold it and as a foreigner, like would your land rights still be yours
Yeah,
given the fact that you in a foreign country and they can confiscate any moment?
I think you will, or you should. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do I recommend it now? Maybe you would like to hold a couple of years to see what happens here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there is it's a tricky question, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that sort of money would get you like four large haciendas
Mm-hmm.
and like 4K hectares, 4,000 hectares, hectares,
4,000 hectares, yeah.
hectares. Yeah,
I think
give
so.
or
We
take.
use acre. We use acres. I don't know what that converts. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Is acres 4,000 acres? I don't know. Head of acres. I heard of that, but I
I
think
don't
that's
know
acres.
neither.
I
That's
don't know.
why they use hectares. Hectares for
Okay.
me is easier than acres.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you can. It's 400. Please do the math
Mhm.
in
Hectares.
quietly and
Mhm.
calculate. But I do know that a large hacienda with all the little toys, like we say, and cattle and all the facilities you can need is going
Mhm.
to be way under $4,100. Okay, four
All right.
hundred thousand dollars.
So real quick,
All
I just
right.
typed in convert
Uh-huh.
hectare okay, pronounce it.
Hectare,
Hectare, right, to acres. So 4,000 hectares to acres is
10,000 acres.
9,800. Yeah, so
Yeah,
10,000 acres. Yeah, so okay, there we go. We got that conversion.
yeah.
uh, all right. So let me see here. Question wise, we got approaching an hour, so we won't get ready to dial back. So we definitely could probably get more questions. But for those that came in late, I think you did a great job of shining light on the improvements within Venezuela. You mentioned the fact the dollar is available for people to use. The Bolivar is strengthened slightly against the dollar, and inflation is coming down, and there's more things on shelves now than there was a while back. So that shows signs of
Yeah,
improvement. So the
there is
Venezuelan
a
people
lot
definitely are
of
in a much better position. So, all right, so about to get ready to dial down. And for those that might be coming across Jose for the first time, he joined me before last year, and so we had a great talk there. You can find more about his personal story in the link at the video, and then also he's on Patreon, and so he does a great job informing people on fact-based prepping. So if anybody wants to go be a blessing to them, look up fact-based prepping on Patreon, and you send out emails and text like once or twice a day. I see, so you do a good job of keeping people up to speed, and he gives real world advice on how to prepare because he's had to live it. So, but once again, he's also on Twitter as well, so he's out there. But any last thoughts you want to leave us with before we let you go, Jose? As always, I'm gonna have you back on
yes,
later on. It's always good to connect with you, man.
yes. And I have one last. It's not exactly an advice. It's more like well, a reflection. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
I know most of the population in the US lives in cities larger than 400,000 something people. All right.
Right.
And I know this is a very small town. We have cattle 5 minutes ago, 5 minutes on the down the road, and we
Hmm.
have fruits everywhere. And we have next to me here, I have a large tree of with mangoes
Hmm.
getting down all the time. Okay, um, we have plenty of fruits and very fresh vegetables. Right, our feeding the 80% of our diet relies on that sources. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I know many people in in Europe or in the UK or in the US does is not that lucky. All right.
Hmm.
Would at my best thought, my best reflection is support the vertical farms industries inside your
Hmm.
cities. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
there is a great movement. There is that's a good way to first to keep down the pressure on your water sources, your clean water, drinkable sources. Okay,
Hmm.
vertical
Yeah.
farming uses way less water than conventional farming, and
Hmm.
the fact of you can have a free lettuce or free spinach, uh, and greenies right next 5 minutes inside a city. Okay,
Hmm.
it's a great advance. So
Right.
support the people, support the guys. Okay.
Right. Right. Good point. That's a good point, man. Good point. So support your local farmers in your area because you might need them sooner than you think. So, all right. Well, everybody, it's been great. Thank you for plugging in. And just as a little note, so you can go follow Jose on Twitter. I'll put this beneath as well. So between Patreon, Twitter, he does a great job. He's a prolific writer, so he shares some interesting stories. So I'd encourage you guys to go, join and follow him as well. So anyway, but Jose, has always been great to connect with you. Everybody, be blessed, be safe. Mike and Mario at 2 p.m. So we got an hour, and then me and Mario gonna just rant about this past week. So see you guys later in a few minutes. Peace.